Hey girls, Maria Menounos here, author of the Every Girl's Guide to Life. Want to know my best tips and secrets for organization, travel, weight loss, beauty, fashion, and everything else in between? Go to bing.com/Maria and pick up my new book, The Every Girl's Guide to Life.
You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. Now the largest new media platform on the web and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, and streaming live on Ustream, this is AfterBuzz TV for Celebrity Apprentice. Tonight's host is Daphne Valerius. Joining Daphne will be AfterBuzz co-hosts Michelle Macedo and Phil Svitek. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest Celebrity Apprentice news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, picking up where the show leaves off and the buzz continues, Daphne Valerius.
Daphne? No, Daphne.
Hey.
Daphne is not here. So, it's just two of us. It's Michelle and I tonight. It is Easter, so Daphne couldn't come out, and she's actually in Ohio. Little known fact that I was not aware of, apparently. But, but here's probably, you know what, the bigger reason I think, like Celebrity Apprentice, we're sort of weeding out the people that should be
Right,
gone.
I think right now it's the top people and not so much the weaker people,
Yes.
which I'm kind of surprised to see you here, honestly, but good for you. I'm really happy.
Yes, indeed. Well, the title of the episode is Bittersweet, and I kind of understand the title based off of the episode, and I'll discuss that more. But before we get into all of that, obviously, Maria Menounos' book, go buy it. It's awesome. You guys, it doesn't matter whether you're a guy, girl, single, couple, poor, rich, whatever. Just go out and buy it. If you can, it's actually selling like hotcake. So,
Hotcakes.
yes.
Well, it's the Every Girl's Guide to Life, and it's seriously amazing. Guys, you will understand women way more if you read it, and girls, you will say thank you to me, and you can email me that or email AfterBuzz that, but trust me, you have to buy it.
Yes, indeed. And of course, just really quickly, all the ways you can listen to us. You can listen to us on live on any of our shows at ustream.tv/AfterBuzzTV. For archived listen, there's, of course, our website, and you can check us out and kind of see all the shows that we do, as well as you can check out what we're all about. You can see our hosts. Then, of course, there's our iTunes page, which you can subscribe to, and it will automatically download to your iTunes every time we add a new show for the ones you're subscribed for. And then, of course, if you want us on the go, there's Stitcher. It's a free app for your smartphones, whether BlackBerry, Android, or iPhone, and you can listen to us that way. And actually, here's the smart thing, right? On Stitcher, if you go and you just got to check, there's like a tab that says Sources, and since we're alphabetically at the top, it's very easy to find us.
Well, there we go. AfterBuzz starts with an A. Also,
Smart branding.
Very smart
Mr.
branding.
Trump would say.
He would maybe say that once he got out of the tanning salon, Avi.
Whoa.
But let's just say I'm going to recommend Idol as a podcast to download and subscribe to. That's my favorite. It's really funny. And there's like a really awesome
Well, you know
song.
what? I got to congratulate Celebrity Apprentice. It's actually one of the top downloaded ones on iTunes for AfterBuzz TV.
Hells yeah, it is.
So what's up? By the way, we know, okay, I joked about it, fine. We're not necessarily you know what? We know you guys all love AJ, and he will be back. You know what? He should actually. Him and Courtney are going to try to call in from New York eventually, but you have us this week, and so
Yeah, I was missing an air of pretentiousness in the room.
yes. This week is all about luxurious hotels and the Trump collection, and which reminds me of royalty. And speaking of royalty, April 29th, we'll be doing a live commentary show for the royal wedding. So check that out. You can there's a reminder on ustream.tv/AfterBuzzTV for that. So you know.
What night is that?
That's technically what we call Thursday night.
But Wednesday night, Thursday morning, correct?
No, Friday morning, Thursday night.
Oh, okay.
Don't get the people confused.
Friday morning, Thursday night.
Yes.
Thursday night, Friday morning.
Yes, indeed. But all right, so moving on. We are tasked this week to create 4 ads for the Trump collection. And the slogan is "Live the Life," and they want originality, and what that means is no guy with champagne.
No guy or girl with champagne. They want creativity, originality, and the presentation. Those are the 3 things that are the most important.
You're so going AJ with this.
What are you talking about?
What did Mr. Trump say? 1, creativity.
You mean I'm
2, originality.
You mean I'm
3,
a strong debater?
presentation.
Yes. Those are the 3 things, and he said at one point, the ad is just 1/3 of it.
Yes, he did. And so this week, Star Jones, you know what? Very strategic. I kind of expected her to step up. You know what I mean? Everyone's kind of had their shot, and we're getting down to the wire. And so, of course, she was going to step up. Strategy, as AJ would say.
It's not like she's been stepping up a little too much this entire show, but now
she had the official title.
Yeah.
And for the guys' team, it was John Rich who stepped up reluctantly, but nonetheless stepped up. Who do you think anyone else should have stepped up or no?
Stepped up?
For the guys' team.
I think John Rich was enough. I'm like so over him, and so he's like
he's been for the guys. He's been like one of the strongest contenders.
He's like really weird.
But you know what? No, he's classy.
No way. I would totally like. He's the kind of guy. He's like the corner guy, like the guy, not shy guy.
What do you mean? What does that mean? The corner guy?
Like, he's like not even facing you. He's facing the corner. He's like in a corner in a crowded room. He's in the corner.
Oh my God! He faced the 2 guys in the presentation. Ended extremely well. That's how they won. Is because he faced someone instead of looking at a corner. Are you serious? Before we get into any of that, oh my God, I can't believe you. So, all right, defend your women. I mean, first off, Star Jones decided that the whole slogan of her campaign was individual elegance, collective luxury. Where was that on their ad?
That. Where that was on their ad was, well, it was a whole concept of it, the whole idea of it, but it was too literal. And basically they just said like words here and there that was supposed to describe it, but that was an epic failure. They should have just put the words epic failure.
So you didn't actually like anything that the women did? No,
it was so exactly what every like tacky, cheesy hotel ad is, both of the teams. It was just like, they just, I don't know what happened. Everyone had like a lapse in judgment and just.
Well, I have written down, go to sleep.
Were you falling?
No, I wasn't falling asleep. I think these guys needed some rest and that would have helped them out perhaps.
Oh, you were one to talk. Well, I think who really needed rest is LaToya, since she had laryngitis. I'm kind of glad she got sent home because she needs to take care of that. And she was trying to argue with the voice, and then that made her like more.
Okay,
weak.
Before we get there, that'll have its day in court,
right,
as they say.
Yeah.
But talk about the women's strategy. I mean, you know what? Don't even talk about the women's strategy. Talk about Star Jones' strategy, because that's what this whole thing was.
That's what I was going to say. It was basically Star Jones finally getting, because of the title, making it socially appropriate for her to boss people around. And she does delegate people, but she doesn't give any room for individuality or creativity because it has to go her way. She's a control freak, and that's why she's successful, but that's also her downfall.
Well, she did admit at one point that it was dumb. What you wrote that line, so I knew I didn't have to. Smoke. She must have smoked funny cigarettes.
Oh yeah, funky.
Funky.
She said she must have been smoking those funky cigarettes
when she sent LaToya and Nene out to whatever the hell they were supposed to get.
Yeah, because you can't get anywhere in Lower Manhattan as fast as she wanted to. So I think that what she did was just say that she was doing drugs and she should be arrested.
Was that decision overshadowed by the fact that initially her whole goal was to get LaToya away because LaToya was useless?
Yes. Who, Nene's the whole goal?
No, that was Star Jones's.
Yeah, well that...
Nene didn't want to go.
But Nene wanted LaToya to go. Like, I feel like out of anyone, everyone wanted LaToya to go because she was... It's not like she caused stuff, but everywhere she was, drama was around it. So it was more like that. Obviously, her and Nene were besties, biffles, as you say.
In this episode.
Yeah, Star... It's like finally they confront each other, like really now, after like so many people have gone home and so many people have had their feelings hurt because of passive aggression. Now you talk about it, but at least they talked about it, unlike the guys who just don't talk about anything.
Yeah, but with the guys, there's nothing too significant. I mean,
really?
Granted, okay, so I almost had the feeling that for a moment, Meatloaf was going to be the new Gary, especially when John Rich called him the riddle wrapped in enigma. I don't even know what that means.
He is the new Gary, and he was this whole episode. He's being weird. The mirror thing, like what? He can see into the future with the mirror, but then I don't even, like, what does that even mean?
I don't know. You know what? I'm going to stand up for John Rich. I mean, part of the whole ad thing, like, okay, yes, they still had a butler, but at the end of the day, they had to go with only the napkin because they didn't have good photos of the butler smiling. And you know what?
But don't do the butler at all.
Don't do the butler at all.
Overdone.
But what I'm saying is more so, if anything, just give options. Okay, I know you may disagree with like him smiling or whatever, but you know what? Get one of him pissed off. Get one of him like jumping. Get one of him like whatever. Don't bring back, as John Rich said, 800 of the same damn photos. Like, okay, this photo looks okay. And I'm being facetious right now with the papers because
he's just throwing a paper around.
Yes, but you know what I mean. So at the end of the day, just get some variety. And I know, the bigger thing was okay. It's the butler. But that's, you know.
Well, the women have too many people trying to control everyone, and the men have not enough people trying to delegate and control and get it under control. So the men are like a hot mess running around crazy.
No, I mean, they weren't crazy. What they didn't have a solid plan. They were just kind of make it up as they go.
Exactly.
And then one thing they didn't have was the presentation, but they just didn't know what... I felt like they needed an example, you know, had someone given them, okay, an ad.
Exactly, so no one's a leader.
No one, you know, no one was a leader in that task. And I think John Rich is a leader. And that's why he kind of stepped up, despite knowing that it was not a strong suit, that he probably wasn't going to do well. And which is why he knew, and this is where I go AJ on you, he knew that the strong point of these guys was going to be the presentation. Mm-hmm. And that's how they killed it.
Well, if you rely on Lil Jon saying, hey, and like the last time I think you did it,
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
No, but okay, yeah. Little John is great, but so is John Rich, and so is Meatloaf in presentations. Meatloaf has always been complimented about his presentations, whether it was back when they were doing the thing for the little kids, just even if you go back to last week with the Omaha Steaks, and there you go, Omaha Steaks, because I remember it, and I know it's important for you to say, because the reason why the women kind of, they got battered because they didn't say Omaha Steaks. But no, Meatloaf has always gotten complimented.
Well, I think he's like turning a little Gary on us. Like maybe he has gotten complimented for that, but maybe things are changing.
Yeah, but no. I thought that, and I was going to say that, but then I totally changed my mind, because you know what? At the end of the day, yes, he made a few mistakes, but his presentation was awesome, and it wasn't Gary. Like, Gary would have totally bored them, and no, he actually gave him a good story of like, hey, I came to the hotel, and the butler knew me. And that's something that you don't get anywhere else in the world.
Yeah, but that
and that's a good story.
Is
what?
Is something that you get in every campaign. It's about the image that they see. That's what it's about. It's
the
not
image,
about the story. No one's going to read the story. I don't even care enough to read the story. I wasn't even interested in hearing the story. It's just like a bunch of words, and it's like overwhelming. And like the women were going the right direction, but totally effed that up too. Like, don't like really like passion, girl in the bathtub. Okay, you could see your towel. Like, what? They're just lucky that they have.
Yeah, let's see some titty.
Excuse me.
No.
No.
What are you supposed to see then?
You're not supposed to see any. Just soap.
Soap. Well, they were rushed by their leader, Star Jones.
Yes, their leader, Star Jones. She like freaked out at everyone, and it's like she can delegate people and feel. I think she's doing it to indulge herself, but she was just telling everyone what to do, and feeling like she could do that, and she had the right to like be a bee because of it.
Yes, indeed. Well, you know, it's funny how they sort of compared that Star Jones had an advantage going into this for the fact that she stayed in tons of these hotels her whole life, whereas John Rich didn't. But then, you know what? As much as I love the fact that John Rich came up with all these adjectives, as Lil Jon pointed out, adjectives. But, they just need a few less. And you know what?
Well,
but I applaud the...
But first of all, I'm glad they're not editors, literary editors. Second of all, spell check. What? Like, what? Spell check. Like,
well,
they had such a hard time.
Okay, well, here's the thing.
Putting together every word. They were like, whoa, that's a big word. And John Rich said, I'm not smart enough to write this big of words. And like, okay, say that once. That's funny. Like, do you really not know big words?
No, well,
maybe you don't.
Here's the thing. I think show-wise, they played it up way more than it. I mean, obviously, they had a misspelling in the actual pamphlet.
After all of that time.
Yes, but I think at the same time, I don't think it was as much time necessarily as you would think. Show-wise, it got played up a lot, and editing-wise, you know, we just got those moments.
That is quite a benefit of the doubt. You're just handing that to them. You're just handing it to them.
You know what? But here at the end of I don't know. They still had they were being judged on presentation at the end of the day, which was a third of it, and the other third or whatever was, I don't know. I think overall, at least, I think they showed that they cared more.
Who, the guys?
Yes.
The guys are more, it's harder to hide their, and maybe they don't know, like they are more genuine. But like, honestly, all of them piss me off when they're talking to Donald Trump because, okay, yeah, you're supposed to, but it's just like, I don't know. For
What do you
me,
mean? You're supposed to piss you off when they're talking to Mr.
No,
Trump?
they're
What does that mean?
supposed to. No, they're supposed to obviously be really nice and like be really and obviously like Donald Trump likes that, or else he wouldn't have created the show. But it just really bugs me when people are so obviously like shamelessly sucking up and like trying
So
for
who's
their
sucking
own
up?
benefit.
Who's
Everyone. Star, okay, like I said, just get knee pads because all of them, and in the meeting they're all like, well,
Yeah, are they up Mr. Trump's ass, you saying?
they're crawling up his ass.
Oh, my God.
Well, it's just like, and in the meeting, like, okay, obviously you have to come off as warm, but like you also have to come off as genuine and passionate, not just, they all seem like they're there
So who?
to like win.
They
They're there for charity.
are. Which is why they want to win.
Yeah, but like, they're just so fake.
I don't know. I don't fully see that. I think, yes, they're playing the game correctly, and at times, yes, they may seem like they're totally sucking Mr. Trump's ass, but at the same time, that's what you have to do, and I don't think they're overstepping it in a vulgar sense of like, oh, Mr. Trump, you're the greatest.
They
No.
totally are. Like, oh my God. Oh, and how awkward was it when he just walked into the room and he was like, so I'm running for president. Who would vote for me? John, would you vote for me? Would you? Would you vote for me? And he's like, who's not going to vote for me? Like, what? Like, why did he just put that like president plug in there?
So
That was just really awkward because not everyone was obviously going to vote for him. And he was like, well, you better not raise your hand because then you'll get fired.
you know what? I think, okay, yes, it was a plug or whatever. But at the same time, that's Mr. Trump's form of humor. If you don't like, I mean, I feel like you have to like Mr. Trump in some sense to like this show. He is one of the characters, a big character. And you know what? I think at the end of the day, that's his humor.
Yeah. It's just,
You just don't like it.
yeah. It's just like frustrating. I don't know. I just feel like,
You don't
It's
like to
just
crawl up
frustrating.
anyone's ass then.
no, I don't. It's just this like elitism that's just so unnecessary. But whatever, he lives that way. Him and I aren't besties for a lot of reasons. But I do like Ivanka. But his sons, for reals, can't you afford braces?
Oh my
Out of
God. How did this
anyone?
turn into like, well, we're supposed to be talking about the show,
And gel the
not
hair?
your...
How old are you? Like, you are a grown up. Can you figure out how to do your own hair? Who told you that you had to do it like that? And just like an overbite that's just any orthodontist.
All right. I'm going to cut you off.
Okay.
Ridiculous. But you know, okay, so speaking of people, do you really think that people were crawling up Star Jones' ass this week? And if so, who was it? Really Marley, and was it Hope as well?
No, I totally don't think that they were. I think that was a defense tactic of Nini's. She like hates to take the blame and to be called out. So I think that's what was going on.
Well, who doesn't, right?
Right. That's true. But Nini's especially defensive. She's the
Well, as AJ pointed out last week, she's out of her element, and so
yeah.
and the worst is that she thinks she's right.
And even if she knew she was wrong, she would never say it.
Well, that's what we've been saying.
Right. Well, then I agree with you.
Okay. So I love how Mr. Trump sort of, as always, asks questions of both groups, knowing the winner, and in fact playing both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, it was really funny to see them saying like, "Yeah, I think we won. I think we did a good campaign." When they clearly made it a point in the show that these guys sucked.
Mm. Oh my God, it was so super harsh. I saw everyone looked like they'd just been hit by a truck. Specifically.
I mean, but you know what was actually funny? Okay. So as soon as Mr. Trump reveals all these things, and we're going down the list, the guys actually didn't have too many negatives. And yeah, granted, the call to action was a big thing. But at the end of the day, I feel like, yes, that was a big thing. But that's why in a lot of corporate, at least from my experience, and maybe not corporate, but just in anything that I've sort of been involved with from a business standpoint, that's why, you would have a team like that create something, and then it would come back and you would table it of like, okay, you didn't add a call to action or whatever. And you can add that kind of stuff. And yeah, again, they had a whole slew, their whole campaign was just wrong.
The guys?
But, yes. But, I mean, the women's, I love how Don Jr., and I like to call him DJ, or, you know what, I should probably just start calling him JR for Junior. But,
yeah, you just.
So here's Don's paper. Point 1, point 2, point 3, point 5, point 6, like they just, like, I think like a total of 12 negatives to the men's 3.
Oh, 3?
4. Okay, 4 tops.
4. Okay, wait. What are they again now?
The fact that there was a lot of copy.
No number and stuff.
It was very cliched.
Yeah, and then no number.
No call to action.
And then
what?
So you're okay. That's 4.
No, that's 3. What was the 4th?
Oh, that's 3. Okay. Oh, Meatloaf is crazy. That's 1 negative. The other negative is that.
Okay, I don't think that was on Eric's paper.
That's totally, yeah, it totally was.
Okay, so the guys had 3 negatives. The women had how many?
Okay, what are the women's negatives?
The fact that, during their presentation, they spoke. That's when you go, say like.
Like.
This, and.
The.
Sucked. You're supposed to complete.
A lot?
There you go. You're supposed to see that.
I got it, but then it was like totally. My sentence was totally, which is why there needs to be a sharing of control rather than you
Here's
were
the
trying
thing.
to control.
It's just
what
a
I
bad
was saying.
idea. All right, let's go the sentence. Star Jones did not do well. Star Jones made a bad decision with that tactic. All right, ready? Star
Jones
made
a
bad
decision
with
that
tactic. Like, that just sounds dumb. That just sounded really dumb.
Well, it was dumb. It was cliche. It was like totally
cliche. I hope no one's using that.
No, but it was like, oh, words. But also, it didn't seem. It was obviously, it looked like a puppet show or like marionettes for Star. That's what it was. It was like ridiculous.
Yeah, and especially like you have a good roster of people that you can pitch with, and for them to just say one word is stupid. It goes back to the point of when LaToya didn't use Hope strong in the Australian Gold campaign.
Yeah,
you put Hope in a bikini right there, front and center. You have you have LaToya Jackson, you have yourself, you have Nene, and you have Hope.
They were making the atmosphere like so unnecessarily tense. Like Hope was just like there while Star and Nene were like screaming at each other. It's just like, really? By screaming at each other, you could have gotten like so much done.
Yes.
For the time that it took.
Yes, indeed. So in the end, I think for me, the guys did deserve their win. Because you know what? And it's funny because everyone said they were at a disadvantage, and I think they were. And what it came down to is that the women just sucked.
Well, what I wrote on my paper is men equals doesn't know shiznit effing clueless.
What?
Just go to sleep.
What are you talking about?
Those are the notes that I wrote. Also,
and you speak that you're saying that that Meatloaf is a riddle wrapped in an enigma, and you're oh my god.
Yeah, I would say that actually.
Well,
And meatloaf. What's with the coat? What is with that?
All right.
That counts as a negative. That counts as a negative.
Jesse, take us to a commercial because we're not here to just no. I want strategy and tactics.
That's
I don't
negative.
want Jesse. Get us a commercial so we can go.
Want to find out what the AfterBuzz is about?
Janice is a drama queen.
This is the divide that is going to carry the series.
Give us a call. 424-256-1729. 424-256-1729.
It's television, and they want it to be as dramatic as possible.
I mean, it's Shakespearean.
You never know what goes on behind closed doors.
Find out why AfterBuzz TV is the #1 source for after-show content.
Now, in the eyes of Jimmy, Nucky is a villain.
424-256-1729. 424-256-1729.
I mean, who would you guys rather hear that from? Your husband or your best friend?
The wig will come out.
When the TV show is over, get your AfterBuzz on. AfterBuzz TV News.
So actor Gary Busey is planning to put his improved hearing to good use by helping others who may be suffering from deafness as a result of traumatic brain injury. Gary went on to say, quote, I had brain surgery after my motorcycle accident in '88 when I split my skull and it knocked a hole in my ear canal, making it smaller, so Dr. Austin gave me these hearing aids. And now all 5 of my senses are working. Now I can help people with the traumatic brain injury because I was the advocate voice that created the Traumatic Brain Injury Act that President Clinton signed in '97. I'm very proud of that.
Wow, I don't even know, and I've never heard of that.
Well,
He
good.
made it up.
Good for you, Gary. I
He's
mean,
like, I can use my 7 senses now because I started the act of liberation emancipation.
well, I'm glad he's an actual spokesperson for something. Perhaps he pitched himself well, unlike with the Australian gold people.
Yeah, I have a feeling he didn't.
Anyways, onwards.
So although Mark McGrath was fired, he was able to return home and be greeted by his new twin daughters, Lyddon and Hartley.
Run away.
What?
Twin daughters? Don't even go there. Don't even go there.
I thought you were going someplace totally different.
Oh, yeah.
Ridiculous. For those of you who don't know, because her twin sister is not on the show,
Yes.
Michelle has a twin sister.
Yes, I have an identical twin sister, and it must be a handful.
Ironically, they were born on the same day.
Wait,
Crazy.
on the same day?
Yeah.
On the same day.
Really?
Yeah.
How did that work out?
Pretty well.
So who's older though?
I am.
By what?
2 minutes.
Excellent. Anyway, all right, onwards.
So Donald Trump has claimed that many of Barack Obama's advisors believe he can provide the U.S. president with a serious electoral challenge, saying, quote, I know many people at the White House, and one in particular. Trump declared the last person he wants to run against is Donald Trump. That I can tell you.
Go jack off in the bathroom, like not on my face.
Whoa.
Wow, Donald Trump jacking off in the bathroom. Hilarious.
You know what? I mean, I don't know. I'm sure people have very mixed opinions about it, and I'm not saying I'm going to vote for him, but he'd be an interesting candidate.
Are you kidding? Like all the children that are orphans in the country, he would like burn them all. He's crazy.
He's crazy. You know what? I love Mr. Trump's ruthlessness. At the end of the day.
For business.
Yes, and what is the presidency in the end?
Well,
A
you want a
business.
human at the heart of it.
Well, you know what?
You should never run for president. What is it but just business?
You know what? But here's the thing. You know what?
Yeah.
If you want to talk politics, I mean, how many times? I mean, Barack Obama's getting criticized a lot, and you know what? At the end of the day, all the people that voted for him, he's kind of going against them, and only appeasing those that sort of hold power. And you know what? They're not the ones who got you in office. So what are you doing?
So what are you saying?
I'm just saying.
You would vote for Donald Trump?
No, I'm not saying that. But it's quite interesting. you know what? I want to see him as a candidate, if nothing else. I think he'd be an interesting candidate.
I'll personally stop you from going to the voting polls.
All right, excellent. All right, what else we got?
So actor Gary Busey's 1-year-old son Luke has been hospitalized for childhood illness. The health emergency came hours after Busey showed off a photo of his beautiful gift from God during an appearance on Monday night's Jimmy Kimmel Live.
Oh.
Whoa.
That sucks. For the kid to have a dad that's Gary Busey.
Yes.
But also, failness. I hope he's okay.
Yes, indeed.
And that's your AfterBuzz TV Celebrity Apprentice news and gossip for the week of April 24th, 2011.
By the way, sometimes there's misspellings in our copies of the news. So, yeah, John Rich is not the only one.
Spell check then.
Well, who does
And
these?
now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
All right, prediction, Jesse. Who gets fired for the misspellings on the news and gossip?
Michelle's twin sister.
All right, good. All right, so
I understand.
So, you know what? Big thing we didn't talk about because you had to make it stupidly personal about Mr. Trump's toupee. Like, what the? Let's talk about LaToya getting fired before we get into predictions.
What are you talking about, Mr.? Do you really want to talk about Mr.
No.
Trump?
LaToya getting fired. I think, you know what? I disagree with that choice. I didn't want her to be off, but he actually gave an amazing reason as to why she had to go.
Because she was bringing the group down.
Because the rest of them deserved a shot. And they didn't want LaToya. And you know what? Now they're going to have to live or die based upon that.
That's what I said to begin with. Plus, they were all like blaming her for a bunch of stuff. So now we'll see how they'll do on their own. And then...
Yes. By the way, you know what? Very, very unfair to LaToya. I thought she was a very strong player.
Yeah, they were really hard on her.
They were. But, again, Mr. Trump is what sold me on it because he said it in the most elegant of ways.
He looks like a toad when he's up there. He's like this. He's like...
Predictions for next week. Okay.
Sorry to interrupt. What were you going to say?
No, I'm moving on. I'm not... See, this is why I'm not letting you get into these things. No. So next week, we see Nene just go off about Star Jones because that's where we basically leave off. And we kind of switched up the format where they always kind of play the dun dun the big kind of music finale with the loser walking off and the sort of people who got out of the boardroom going back. But this time we didn't get that because Nene is talking to Star Jones and she's like, hey, you need to listen to people. And so obviously that is the crux of next week where Nene has had it with Star Jones. Star Jones is controlling. And then we find out they have to work together, which is awesome.
Yeah, that looks like a very exciting episode. So I'm excited about that. Who do you think will win?
Oh, the guys. For sure. Because you know what? I mean, going into a task with that kind of animosity.
I know. That's their downfall.
Apparently not. They couldn't even win today when they didn't have animosity.
They did have animosity. The girls?
Yeah.
They totally did. LaToya.
LaToya had animosity for who?
No, they had animosity for LaToya.
Yeah, but they stupidly talked about it, and they felt like it was all off the table, and apparently it wasn't. And but you know what? I'm gonna like this.
Good that they talked about it. Then LaToya had a biffle for an episode.
Yes, I am so gonna love Nene versus Star Jones.
Yeah, that's really awesome.
I mean, Nene at the end. She said like, "You cut people's heads off just to win this comp." I didn't know it was this fierce.
Yeah.
Now no.
Yeah.
And you know what? Okay, granted, it took you 8 episodes to figure that out.
Seriously.
But you know what?
Yeah. She's the one that's yapping.
Yeah, what you talking? Mr. Trump, yeah, I'm trying to be real here.
People are crawling up Star's ass.
They are.
Didn't sound like it.
I mean, how do you say that in the boardroom, Mr. Trump? I mean, that's why we love Nene.
I know. Love her.
But anyways, that's what we kind of get. And I look forward to seeing all that. And
me too, Phil. Me
And you know what? Next week we are gonna like the Apprentice does, because we're the finalists. We're gonna sort of reform our groups, and they're gonna help us out. So they're no longer in the competition, but Daphne, Courtney, and AJ will be back to help us out with our AfterBuzz show. Right?
Yes.
And are you gonna make fun of them for like their looks or like?
No, because they're not in the competition anymore. It's just you.
Excellent. All right. Anyways, thanks for listening. Tune in next week, and happy Easter if you're still listening today on Easter.
From producers Kevin Undergaro and Phil Svitek, engineer DJ Jesse Janity, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. If you have questions or comments, be sure to buzz us at info@AfterBuzzTV.com. And you can find us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter by searching for AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.